support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J.
We're going to get right down to it because we have our next guest here. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Scott. Thanks.
Absolutely. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Paul Golden. I'm the Director of Marketing for the Wireless Power Consortium.
Well, welcome to the live show. We have done interviews in your booth in the past.
That's right.
And other than when we gave Qi our Best of CES award many years ago, I don't think the company has ever been in the studio. So it's good to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be back at CES after a few years.
Yeah, for sure. So tell people about the Wireless Power Consortium and, for me, more importantly, the little 2 that's on your shirt today.
Okay. Well, the Wireless Power Consortium is a standards development organization. So we create standards. We have one specific standard that people are probably familiar with, even though they may not know who we are, and that's the Qi standard for wireless charging of smartphones. So if you have a phone that you've charged wirelessly, most likely it's using the Qi standard.
Yeah.
And it's been Qi certified. This year, we're here for 2 different standards. One is Qi 2, which is, you can think of it as the next generation of the Qi standard.
Okay.
Big step forward, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the other thing is a standard we're developing specifically for the kitchens, which is called Qi.
Yes.
It's the Qi cordless kitchen, and that's had a lot of excitement here at the show.
I've told people this story. In fact, I was telling one of the exhibitors in the WPC booth that when we first encountered the organization on the floor, it was a big booth, and there was a car with, it was all conceptual, early days.
Yeah.
And I looked at all that and I said, no, Qi is what I'm going to focus on. And this kitchen thing, when they come up with a name, is what I want. But I have to support Qi today. The good technology. I'm excited about it. I have to support that hard today to be able to get to this.
Yeah.
So I am so excited that it's got a name and we're here.
Well, it's great to be here for this. So they talk. You mentioned Qi 2 first, so let's talk about that one first. So Qi 2, when you think of standards, and the average consumer really doesn't think about it this way, but standards really solve a couple of key problems for consumers. They provide safety. And when you're talking about electrical things, obviously safety is really important.
Yeah.
They make sure that a product is reliable, that it's efficient, and that it's interoperable. So, I don't want to have to worry about having, I can only use this charger with this phone, and I can use this device with this, but you want to be able to use any brand interchangeably.
Because in the early days of inductive charging for phones, you had Qi, you had the Samsung one, HP/Palm had their touchstones, and they were all different. And there were 2 touchstones.
Yeah. So how does the consumer keep track of all these things?
Right, exactly.
And you can't really build a category that way.
Right.
It just never works.
All you're going to do is annoy people.
Right.
And nobody's going to want to participate.
And what's been happening in wireless charging is that they're Qi certified devices, and then there are devices that call themselves works with Qi, Qi compatible, Qi enabled, all those sorts of things, and consumers are confused. Retailers tell us they're confused. They're not even sure how to train their people on this.
Right.
So what we've done with Qi 2 is we've basically created a standard that's going to unify all the wireless charging behind one global standard.
Okay.
And in its simplest form, you can almost think about what Qi by itself has been and what Apple's done with MagSafe, and we've kind of combined those under one umbrella.
Okay.
So the new Qi 2 standard is going to have a magnetic power profile similar to that MagSafe.
Okay.
MagSafe is an Apple trademark, but we'll have that magnetic power profile, one standard covering everybody, because Apple is 70% of the entire category. So it'll have that magnetic profile and enables a perfect alignment between the phone and the charger.
Right.
So, you've seen people try to say, okay, let me get my phone on my charger, I'm going to move it a little bit here, a little bit there. You don't have to worry about that anymore. It'll be a perfect alignment. And what happens with a perfect alignment, there's no loss of energy. So you have a more efficient charge, more efficient use of energy. It'll end up being a faster charge for some people because if you don't have that perfect alignment, you're losing energy. Lost energy means slower charging. So then there's some other things that we have that authentication, for instance, is one of the elements we'll add to it. So if you're if you have a Qi certified phone, you're putting on a non-Qi certified charger, it'll tell you, this is a non-certified charger.
Got it. And I know, I think the last time we talked specifically on certification and the importance of it.
Yeah.
Because you guys have like this huge testing process to be able to be certified, to know that it's safe, it's compatible, and all the things that we as consumers need and want.
Absolutely, yeah. If it's Qi certified, it's gone through that testing process. And that testing process is done by independent third-party labs. We don't do that. We make sure that it's a very objective source that actually does that charging.
Gotcha.
That testing.
Yeah, and it's, from what I remember, it is an intense process.
Yes.
You're not going to get through it with anything wrong.
No.
It's intense.
And we get a lot of submissions that end up going back. They have to be adjusted or modified because they don't meet the standard.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. And we always tell people, if it's not Qi certified, it's not. There were a couple of big manufacturers, popular Amazon brands, that were Qi compatible, but weren't certified until recently, about a year or so ago. And I told people, skip it. Don't do it. They're inexpensive. I know they're popular, but skip it.
Well, we're also in the process right now helping consumers and making sure they understand what Qi certified is and how important it is. We're in the process of going after a number of those brands that are advertising on Amazon and other platforms like that are using the Qi logo illegally, or they're claiming to be Qi enabled and really they're not. And a number of those will be delisted very soon.
Okay. Well, good.
You got to protect the brand.
And the consumer.
Right.
And one motion will do both.
Right. Absolutely.
Good.
So you want to talk about Qi?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I saw an early prototype many years ago in your corner booth that's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Where lifted up the table and showed off the coil, and I've been on board ever since.
Yeah.
And itching.
So we got a lot more toys this time that we're able to play with appliances.
Yeah.
And for people who aren't familiar with it, what we're doing with Qi is we're creating a standard specifically for the kitchen. And what we've done is we've gone in and taken all the sort of different appliances you use in a kitchen. So a blender, an air fryer, a juicer, multi-mixer, tea kettles, coffee makers. And all those things use plugs. And consumers are telling us, you know what, I don't like these plugs because they get in the way. I get caught on them. It creates accidents.
There's never an outlet close enough.
Yeah, and
the cords are always this long.
The cords are always that long, and the cords are the first things to go. They start going, and then the device doesn't work anymore.
Right.
So what we've done is we've created the Qi cordless kitchen, and by taking away the cords, we're replacing them with transmitters that can either fit underneath the countertop, so they're hidden from view altogether, you don't see them, or they're built into a dual-purpose induction cooktop.
Right.
The appliances have a sensor in the bottom of the appliance. That appliance, when it sits on that transmitter, it registers and communicates with one another and sends power directly to it. So you just turn it right on. You move it off that transmitter, it immediately shuts off. If you knocked it over, it would immediately shut off.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about it is you can cook on that spot, take away that appliance, and it's not hot.
Right.
There's no heat. You can serve now in the same spot that you just finished cooking. So if you have a small kitchen or a very small eating area in your kitchen like this, you've really optimized the space.
Yeah.
And it makes a really, really sweet, beautiful kitchen because it's clean, it's neat. You don't have the cords going all over the place, and you can set up these little transmitters really anywhere you want.
And we used to talk with a former member of the team every year, and he and I had a whole conversation one year, and I was like, oh, you could have it in your dining room table.
Yeah.
And you could keep food warm on the table or on a serving table for a banquet or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of having little candles all the time, you literally just put the heating tray down and it keeps everything going.
Yeah.
Like there's all kinds of interesting places where this would be amazingly useful.
Well, and we've had some interesting people come into our booth talking about this. We had one company that outfits the insides of airplanes, private airplanes. And he said, we have a very small space, and we're very weight constrained on this. And this would be great for preparing food in a plane.
Wow.
We had somebody with an RV saying, this would be perfect for our little kitchen in an RV.
Sure.
And then one of the interesting things we hadn't even thought about was for senior citizens. If, older people, if they're like in an independent or assisted living, they often have a kitchenette in their apartments, but they can't have a cooktop because
Right.
it's a fire hazard.
Right.
Occasionally they may turn them on and kind of forget about it. You don't have that issue with this because there's no heat you're not going to burn yourself. You can't keep it on because there's a sensor in it that if it gets to a certain temperature, it shuts off.
Right. Yeah, that interesting use cases.
Yeah. We're finding more and more of those as we're showing up in places like this and showing people what the product is.
And that's one of the big benefits of a show like this for your, because everybody here has a different goal here.
Right.
And I would imagine for your organization, it's people coming up and going, hey, I could use this. Huh. And you're going, yeah, you're right. Take a note.
Yeah. Well, the most common question we get from people right here is, first they say, wow, this is really cool. And when can I get it?
Yeah.
Where can I get it?
Why don't I already have it?
And unfortunately, it's not here yet.
Yeah.
So we're at the stage right now where we're trying to build awareness with people to let them know it's coming. But the standard is about a year away.
Okay.
So January next year, we expect we'll have the standard done. So you'll start seeing products out in the market in about 18 months, the middle of next year, 2024.
Nice. I had hoped for a compressed timeline like that. Once the name came out, I'm like, okay, I have a feeling we're going to get closer to it.
Yeah.
Because I've been watching this, 8 years now, watching the concept build up.
So our goal now, as we're getting close to that finish line,
Awesome.
is letting people know who might be in the influencers in this. So if you're an interior designer, or you are a kitchen futurist, or builders, construction people, things like that, letting them know this is something that's coming. You're going to want to know about it because this is going to be the kitchen of the future.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, super excited about it. We've known each other for a number of years now, and I've been excited about this one in particular for a long time. So I'm glad to see we're getting close.
My wife keeps telling me, when can I get this in our kitchen? Come on.
Yeah, this is your thing. Let's get there. Well, I know people are going to want more information. How can they get it?
They can go to our website, wirelesspowerconsortium.com, and there's plenty of information there about Qi2 and Key, the cordless kitchen.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming and talking to me today.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Have a good last couple hours of the show.
Okay.